This wasn't some reality show meltdown. This was a wife storming a courtroom with receipts in hand, exposing betrayal so raw, even the judge froze. When Jackie Christie unleashed her truth, Doug crumbled, Malaysia cracked, and the entire internet held its breath. What did Jackie do that left a courtroom and the world shaking? Trust me, this is only the beginning. You don't want to miss how this story flips the script on betrayal. The courtroom sank into an eerie hush, thick with tension. And then, just like a sudden crack of thunder, Jackie Christie erupted. She did not walk into that courthouse as some heartbroken woman seeking pity. No, she came crashing in like a storm unleashed, a full-blown earthquake ready to rattle everything and everyone in her way. When she rose to her feet, eyes locked dead on Doug, and opened her mouth, it was not some carefully crafted statement. What came out was pure, raw fury, a verbal detonation that shook the entire room to its core. "He lied to me." Jackie's voice exploded, sharp and fierce. "He claimed he was hitting the gym, but the truth? He was tangled up in bed with Malaysia." Her words ripped through the courtroom like a bolt of lightning, shattering the thick, uneasy silence. The crowd gasped. In shock, the judge froze, his hands suspended in mid-air. Even the ever-chattering camera crews went dead quiet, caught off guard as the weight of her accusation hung heavy in the air. With her hand shaking and eyes blazing with fury, Jackie Christie lifted her phone high for everyone to see. On the screen, played a gut-wrenching scene, the sound of Malaysia, Pargo's laughter filling the air, Doug's voice murmuring words no faithful husband should ever speak. And finally, the soft click of a bedroom door sealing their betrayal. It hit the courtroom like a wrecking ball. Every person in that room felt the crushing weight of her heartbreak. Jackie's voice broke through the stunned silence. "I gave this man everything I had." Her words echoed with raw pain. "Every scandal, every humiliation, every disgrace, I stood by him. And this is how he repays me." But Jackie wasn't there to crumble. She didn't shed a tear. She didn't plead. Instead, she roared, slamming her palm on the bench with a force that sounded like a thunderclap. Her makeup streaked, but her spirit burned fiercer than ever. Her truth was undeniable, cutting through the air like a sword. No one dared to speak. The courtroom wasn't ready. The world wasn't ready. But Jackie, she no longer cared. She hadn't come to play the victim. She came to expose every lie, shatter every false friendship, and burn every betrayal to the ground. And Malaysia couldn't even lift her head under the crushing weight of the truth. Jackie lit the match with pride and let it blaze. Courtrooms are supposed to be places of calm and control, where justice plays out quietly. But this wasn't just another hearing. Not today. Jackie didn't walk in as Doug's wife, or some reality star picked apart by the media. She walked in as a woman armed with receipts and righteous Raja woman stepping into battle with no plans to back down. The atmosphere was suffocating, thick with shock. Cameras clicked. Reporters leaned in. Doug sat motionless, eyes darting everywhere but toward Jackie, his leg bouncing nervously under the table. Meanwhile, Jackie moved like fire itself. Without waiting for permission, she marched straight to the witness stand. With a steady gaze that cut sharper than any blade, Jackie lifted her chin and spoke firmly. "Your Honor, I have something to say, and the world deserves to hear it." Her words hung in the air, thick with tension. Doug's attorney shot up from his seat, ready to object, and the judge leaned forward, brows knit in warning. But Jackie was a force in her own right and moved, unbothered and unafraid. She reached into her bag with deliberate calm, pulled out her phone, and tapped the screen. A haunting silence fell over the courtroom as the speakers crackled to life. The unmistakable sound of a door creaking open echoed, followed by Malaysia's soft laughter, and then Doug's unmistakable whisper, low and gutting, "You know I needed this. Jackie's been on my neck all week." The reaction was instant. A wave of shocked gasps swept across the room. Phones slipped from hands. Someone in the back let out an audible curse. Even the judge froze mid-motion, eyes wide with disbelief. Jackie let the audio hang there for a moment before pausing the clip. Slowly, she turned toward Doug, her expression unreadable but her eyes blazing with betrayal. "So, this is where you were?" she asked, her voice cutting through the heavy air like a blade. "While I was at home planning our anniversary, this is what you were doing." Her tone wasn't a question, it was a deadly accusation, leaving no room for denial or excuse. The weight of her words pressed down on the courtroom like a crushing wave. Doug shrank back in his chair, unable to meet her gaze, while the entire gallery sat frozen, witnessing a woman lay her heart and his lies bare for the world to see. Doug tried to stand, stammering, but Jackie wasn't finished. You lied to me again and again. You said you were training. Watching film, praying, her voice cracked with rage. But all along, you were sneaking around with her. Malaysia, my friend, my sister, my co-star. The fury in her voice shook the gallery. Malaysia sat among her team, head down, face tense, sunglasses useless. Against the judgment surrounding her, she had no defense. Jackie wasn't finished, not by a long shot. Her voice had already shaken the courtroom. But now she came armed with something even more powerful than words: undeniable proof. As she reached into her bag, the room held its breath. She pulled out a thick folder and began laying it all bare: screenshots of conversations, call logs with timestamps that stretched into the dead of night, hotel receipts with Doug's name scribbled alongside Malaysia's. The dates lined up with precision, the same nights Jackie had been away filming, trusting the very people who had been plotting behind her back. This wasn't a situation of blurred lines or accidental misunderstandings. This was calculated, premeditated betrayal, and Jackie wasn't about to let anyone pretend otherwise. Her eyes scanned the courtroom as she thundered, "And every one of you helped cover it up." Her words hit like a shockwave. The media frenzy that followed was instant and relentless. Reporters scrambled, pens flying across notepads, TMZ fired off breaking news alerts, and gossip blogs ignited like dry grass in a wildfire. Social media platforms exploded with hashtags and trending posts, the world watching in real time as Jackie unloaded years of pent-up pain and raw truth. But Jackie wasn't finished delivering blows. She steadied herself, her voice rising with an intensity that dared anyone to look away. "I stood by this man through everything, through his career, highs and lows, through every injury, every setback, every hit to his pride. I gave him my heart, my loyalty, my life." She didn't yell, she roared. The kind of sound that echoed off walls and into the marrow of every person in that room. And he threw it all away. Her words didn't just expose a scandal, they bared the soul of a woman who had sacrificed everything only to be repaid with lies and humiliation. The betrayal wasn't just Doug's, it wasn't just Malaysia's, it was a collective failure of everyone who had stood by and let it happen, who had whispered behind her back or stayed silent when they should have spoken up. Jackie's pain wasn't quiet, and neither was her rage. As she stood there fierce, unshaken, unstoppable, she transformed from a heartbroken wife into a warrior fighting for her dignity. And in that moment, it was clear, Jackie wasn't just exposing a betrayal, she was declaring war on every lie ever told to her face. For what? Jackie's voice thundered, her words cutting through the room like a blade. "For a fling with a woman I treated like family." Doug sat there, head buried in his hands, too crushed to offer even a whisper of defense. The judge slammed his gavel, ordering calm and urging Jackie to compose herself, but she was far beyond composure. This was no longer just about Doug. Now, it was about Malaysia Pargoth, a so-called friend, who smiled in her face, shared her home, played with her grandkids, all while waiting for the right moment to stab her in the back. Jackie's voice cracked with fury. "You sat in my house, laughed with my family, and waited for me to leave so you could drag my husband into your bed." A bailiff cautiously approached, motioning for her to step back, but Jackie locked eyes with him and declared, "I've been silent too long. Now y'all are going to hear me." Even the judge leaned back, watching like the rest of us. Because this wasn't scripted drama, this was raw betrayal, real heartbreak, and consequences that couldn't be swept under the rug. Then Malaysia looked up and smirked. That cold, calculated smirk set Jackie off once again. "Oh, you think this is funny? You think this is a game?" Jackie roared. "Look at her, Your Honor. No shame, no regret, no apology. She doesn't care what or who she destroyed, as long as she got her moment. Well, guess what, Malaysia? You'll never be me, and he's broken." The courtroom was already thick with tension when sudden applause erupted from the back rows. The energy was raw, explosive. One of Malaysia's cousins even sprang to his feet, shouting across the aisle until a sharp-eyed bailiff quickly stepped in and silenced him. But Jackie wasn't shaken. No, she was just getting started. After taking a slow, deliberate breath, she gathered herself, her voice calm but thunderous, and delivered the words that landed like a punch to the gut of everyone present. "I'm filing for divorce today. Not because I want to, but because I have to. If I don't choose myself now, I lose everything. And I refuse to let two liars define my worth." The words didn't just hang in the air, they scorched it. Doug's shoulders slumped visibly, his head dropping lower. Like each word Jackie spoke added 100 pounds of shame to his back. Malaysia, seated a few rows away, didn't even try to look up. Her head remained bowed, sunglasses hiding eyes that surely held the weight of every choice she'd made. But Jackie wasn't moved by their silent performances. This wasn't about pity. It was about reclaiming her power. She stood in the heart of a courtroom that had started the day expecting routine legal arguments, yet was now witnessing a woman redefine the narrative of her life in front of cameras, judges, and a world hungry for the real story. Jackie wasn't a victim clutching onto a broken marriage. She was a woman choosing her peace over a partnership built on deception. She wasn't there to beg for loyalty or forgiveness. She was there to burn down the lies and walk out of the ashes with her head held high. Her voice grew steadier with every word, almost as if she was reminding herself and every woman watching that betrayal doesn't define you unless you allow it. And Jackie wasn't about to allow it. Around the room, murmurs spread like wildfire. Reporters scribbled furiously. Social media managers fired off live tweets. And even the judge leaned back in his chair, silent, acknowledging that this moment wasn't his to interrupt. Jackie owned it completely, as her final words echoed across the courtroom. There was no grand gesture, no dramatic collapse. Just a woman standing firm in her truth, making the decision to put herself first and daring the world to watch her rise. The silence that followed felt suffocating. Doug finally cracked, his face streaked with tears, while Malaysia sat frozen, her sunglasses useless against the weight of the truth. Even her sister whispered, "You crossed a line." Jackie stepped down from the stand not as a shattered wife, but as a woman walking away from a kingdom built on lies. This wasn't just a marriage collapsing, it was a dynasty crumbling. Doug sat slumped, a shadow of the man once cheered in packed arenas, and Malaysia, whatever smirk she had vanished. Her publicist whispered something frantic, but she had no answers. How do you PR your way out of a courtroom betrayal played on video for the world to see? You don't, not this time. While the courtroom reeled, Jackie was already outside, setting Instagram on fire. No statements, no networks, no filters. Jackie went live. Within minutes, 500,000 people tuned in, her eyes swollen, voice hoarse but her spirit unbreakable. Looking dead into the camera, Jackie declared to every betrayed woman, "This is for you. He lied. She lied. And I stayed silent because I thought love meant loyalty. I was loyal to the wrong people." The internet exploded. Comments, shares, old clips resurfaced. "I fought for them when no one else would," Jackie said, her eyes blazing. "And all I got was humiliation." Jackie wasn't a villain anymore. She became a symbol, a voice for every woman silenced by betrayal. Meanwhile, Doug remained inside, begging the judge for a private word, desperate to salvage his image. But none of it mattered, not when Jackie's live was already going viral across every platform. The internet erupted when Jackie Christie's explosive expose turned Doug Christie and Malaysia Pargo's alleged betrayal into a full-blown reckoning, splashed across platforms from the Shade Room to ESPN, while Doug's legal team scrambled to downplay Jackie's raw emotions as overreactions. Jackie dropped undeniable receipt screenshots, hotel selfies, Uber rides paid with her own card that proved Doug's affair with Malaysia wasn't a rumor but a documented betrayal. As Malaysia's attempts to deflect with Bible verses fell flat, Jackie returned with backup, Malaysia's ex-husband Gennaro Pargo, revealing in a live press conference that even his son asked if Doug would be his new stepdad. The scandal reached a boiling point when leaked hotel footage surfaced, showing Doug and Malaysia hand in hand, sealing their fate in the court of public opinion. Doug's hollow apology tweet, "Nobody's perfect," was met with Jackie's brutal clapback, "You destroyed it." As Malaysia's endorsements collapsed and Doug's reputation shattered, Jackie seized the spotlight, booking interviews, announcing a documentary with Oprah's team, launching a chart-topping podcast, and filing for divorce live on Instagram. But Jackie wasn't finished. She dropped a tell-all memoir exposing everyone complicit, then delivered a legal bombshell by suing Doug for emotional damages and dragging Malaysia into court as a third-party defendant, proving this was more than scandal. It was a war Jackie waged with undeniable receipts and unshakable power. Malaysia thought she could stay on the sidelines of Jackie's storm, but the moment her name landed on a lawsuit, her world shrank fast. She tried faking grace, posting a yacht selfie with a wine glass and the caption "Peace over problems," but the internet shredded her. Comments poured in, mocking her peace and reminding her that Jackie's lawsuit was coming for everything she thought she had. Malaysia shut off her comments, but by then, Jackie had both her and Doug cornered by brutal receipts and a legal team ready for war. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Shonda Rhimes' team reached out, offering Jackie a Netflix deal for her life story, a betrayed woman's rise from heartbreak to empire. 7 figures, creative control, and even Gabrielle Union rumored to play her. Jackie's response: make sure she can scream, cry, and clap back in the same breath. As Netflix cameras rolled, Doug tried salvaging his image with a half-apology video, Bible in hand, fake tears dripping, but the internet wasn't buying it. Too late, Doug, you fumbled a dynasty for some dimples, one comment read. And then Jackie dropped her most savage move, a billboard outside Doug's former arena that read, you didn't just lose a wife, you lost your legacy. Jackie Christie. No logos, no gimmicks, just raw truth in bold white letters. The billboard became a viral landmark, influencers and fans turning it into a social media spectacle. Doug skipped town. Malaysia scrambled to rebrand with a healing retreat, only for Jackie to clap back instantly. You can't host a healing circle when you're the one passing out poison. The retreat died before it even launched. Meanwhile, Jackie sat atop a booming empire hit podcast, a best-selling memoir, a Netflix series, and whispers of a speaking tour called The Day I Stopped Apologizing. She owned red carpets alone, now radiant and untouchable. And when asked about Doug, she just smiled. He was a chapter. I'm the author. Malaysia faded out. Doug disappeared. But Jackie became a living storm, unshaken, relentless, rewriting her story in bold ink. This was not closure, it was ignition. Jackie transformed betrayal into broadcast, heartbreak into headlines, and pain into power. She didn't just survive, she dominated. And if you think this is her final act, think again. Jackie flipped the table, aired the receipts, and built her empire, brick by brick, flame by flame. Now tell me, did Doug get what was coming? Is Malaysia still faking it? Or did Jackie just pull off reality TV's coldest comeback? Stay tuned, because this was just the prologue.